Today, Avyakt Day, November 30th, 2009, the original date. The title is, In Order to be Loved by the Father and the World, Become a Jewel of Contentment. It's funny that Murli I read this morning was also on contentment. In order to be loved by the Father and the world, become a jewel of contentment and remain free from being influenced by any situation. Direct relationship between you getting affected due to lack of fullness in your virtue, impurity in your virtue. So that's why nobody ever hurts you, causes you sorrow. No one is an obstacle. It's your lack of virtue that is why you can't get by the obstacle. Today, Baba was seeing the contented souls everywhere. The jewels of contentment are spreading the sparkle of their jewels everywhere. The greatest stage of all is that of contentment. We'll say the crown jewel of all the virtues is contentment because it is having all the virtues. Those who are constantly content are loved by everyone. Because people love virtues. You are loved by the Father anyway. Baba loves you no matter how much virtue you have, right? You are loved by the Father anyway. Those who have all attainments remain constantly content. The basis of contentment is having all attainments, and this is why such souls are loved by all. If you have everything, you don't need anything. If you don't need anything, you give. And if you give, everybody loves you. Is why such souls are loved by all, he's speaking specifically, Brahmins, by all the Brahmin souls. If you can figure out how to get Brahmins to love you, you should be able to easily get everyone else to love you. To have all attainments means to be constantly content. A contented soul makes an impact on the atmosphere, and all attainments are a gift from God. Souls who have received all powers, all virtues, and all treasures from God remain constantly content. So your contentment is based on the degree of your yoga, which is the method that you use to fulfill the missing virtues and power, purity in yourself. So those are all the treasures, powers, virtues that you receive from Baba, including knowledge. The stage of a contented soul constantly progresses. Situations cannot influence a contented soul because where there is contentment, there are automatically, if you're content, what is there automatically within you?
Powers.
All virtues and all powers. The one virtue of contentment is able to attract so many other virtues. So each one of you should ask yourself. So he's saying that percentage-wise contentment attracts more virtues. Even if you have only 80% of virtue, you will attract the other 20 very much quicker. Whereas if you are at 20% contentment, then it takes you a long time to attract because you haven't even figured out the relationship with all the, or what the virtues are. So, you're up around 70, 80%. It's much easier to attract the other virtues. The one virtue of contentment is able to attract many other virtues. So each one of you should ask yourself, am I a soul who remains constantly content? And then, of course, if the answer is no, you're not constantly content, which nobody really is. Therefore, the next question to ask would be,
which virtues am I missing?
Which virtues are missing? And then you go, why? Right? A contented soul is always close to everyone and has a stage equal to that of the Father. So in all my effort for sweetness, I'm realizing that sweetness allows you to become close to others. And so obviously you have to go beyond liking and disliking their lack of virtue, right? Or their percentage-wise virtue, or their dishonesty in their virtue. And therefore, by becoming close to everyone, your stage is therefore equal to Baba's. However, in order to remain in this stage of contentment, you need to have one quality and one very elevated stage.
Being detached.
Detached and
Trikaldarshi.
Trikaldarshi. You have very detached and Trikaldarshi stage. Trikaldarshi means three. Tri is three. Kal is time. Darshi is to see. The stage of being able to see the three aspects of time, which is becoming a master of the cycle. You know the cycle, you very grossly understand the cycle, you don't know how to use the cycle. And when you come to know how to use the cycle, you will be able to um, see the future of an action, right? You see the sanskaras of the past, the transformation required in the present, the sowing of pure uh, action in the present, and thereby what will that manifest in the future. So you see the seed of a choice in three aspects of time. When you're, I suppose the world would say when you're really good at that, you'd have deja vu and you'd be clairvoyant. That would be it in perfection, but nobody's quite like that yet. So in order to remain in this stage of contentment, you need two things: detached. Right? Detached prevents you from losing power, and Trikodarshi allows you to discern carefully about what you want to sow now so that you sustain and increase your power in the future. Such a soul is Trikodarshi in everything he does, not some of the time. In every decision, they have to spin the cycle. That's why I keep telling you. But you guys rarely, if any time, spin the cycle before choosing and executing an action. You don't think about the consequence. Maybe you think about the consequence for a couple of days, few hours, right? Because everybody understands basically the generalities of karma. But you have to think about what is this going to create and be, how will it be related to golden age or silver age? If I perform this action, will it be a silver age action or a golden age action? Right? Will it be a royal action or will it be a subject maid servant quality action? You need to be aware of that because that is being in your highest state of consciousness awareness prior to performing the action. So the higher your smriti, the higher your kriti, and therefore the higher the shrishti will manifest, i.e. golden age versus silver age. And then of course you know that depending on when you come into the cycle of golden age, silver age will be the amount of devotion you do in copper age, which will protect you from the sorrows of copper age. And that will also keep you protected from the really ugly karma of iron age. And you learn more and more as Baba starts explaining, and hear him explain about the type of actions you do now, your devotees will do the same towards you when they're worshiping at your temple. Remember, he said the other day, if you have cleanliness in your mind, your devotees, because he said that the mind is the temple of the soul, in the temple of the body, then he said they will look after your temples in Copper Age and do much more accurate devotion worship of your images. And we're gonna become worship worthy. And so therefore, that's based on the degree to which you follow Baba's Srimad directions and inculcate purity, and you will be worshipped accordingly. I know some of you are thinking, well, I don't have any even thought to be worshipped right now. Well, not right now, but you should, because the degree of your worship worthiness is the degree of your purity of golden age, right? Such a soul is Trikaldarshi in everything he does. That is, in every situation, he will first discern its three aspects of time and then act. The three aspects of time of an action before acting. For this, so you see, you cannot do this without the cycle. To be totally pure, you need to understand the cycle. And spinning the cycle is what removes the effect of sin and impurity influencing your intellect. Your intellect is used for thinking, doing, executing, but your intellect is also uh, deeply related to focusing and concentrating your mind to have yoga. So you purify the intellect so the mind can think clearly. You purify the yoga so you can feel purely. And so both efforts are required. For this, two things are necessary. Those two things are to be Trikodarshi and to think about this so that you can and detach, you can then become content. The two things that you have to pay attention to are relationships and wealth. Relationships are imperishable and wealth is imperishable. And they are both attained from the imperishable Father. So he's not talking about temporary wealth or temporary relationships or body conscious relationships. When you souls have received imperishable wealth and relationships, you are both now by the end of Confluence Age and the beginning of Golden Age, you are constantly content and become deeply loved by the Father and all souls because you are such an example of Baba's virtue, God's virtues. Then when Maya comes in any form, because you're content, because you are close to Baba, when Maya, ego, problems, obstacles, fear, ego tries to attack you, you don't become afraid, you don't shake. You then feel as if a Mickey Mouse film is being shown on the unlimited screen. You're so detached. You can see your ego as a Mickey Mouse cartoon. You're surprised Baba knows about Mickey Mouse. You are then not distressed. On seeing the Mickey Mouse film, you are entertained. You experience the games of Mickey Mouse on the unlimited screen as different forms of mind. You experience the games of Mickey Mouse on the unlimited screen as different forms of Maya. All of you have to experience such a stage through the Father, and you have all done that. So you experience Mickey Mouse when you are in a state of fear, body consciousness, ego. Bhakta is seeing that you remain fearless and have stable and concentrated intellects and do not fluctuate in any situation. So Bap is Shiv Baba and Dada is Brahma Baba in his Avyakt angelic form. You are constantly such victorious souls. The Father has a pure desire for each of you children, that each child becomes, what's Baba want us all to become? Each child becomes constantly victorious and shows the Father your victorious form. So Baba just wants to see you in your powerful, pure form. So each of you can ask yourself, who am I? Always lesson one. You're always revising that lesson. Who am I? But that I told you earlier too. So you're not just a soul, you're a victorious soul. You're not just a soul, you're a golden age soul. You're not just a soul, you're a totally pure, completely virtuous soul. You're eternal. You just go through all the words and you'll understand slowly what it means to be a soul. You're fearless, all the qualities, virtues, powers, courageous. Bob Dada told you earlier too that now, according to time, you have to remove the word connected with who am I? Who are you? You know all the titles and words, but you have to remove one word. Sometimes. You have to remove the word sometimes, lack of consistency, constancy, from the Brahmin dictionary. So not only do Brahmins have to stop saying the word, which they all have mastered now. Nobody says sometimes verbally because everybody knows that that's bad form. But they behave sometimes, temporary, fluctuating, right? Inconsistent. Well, that's sometimes, but they don't say the word. Since you're going to claim your inheritance from the Father for all time, you need to have all attainments for all time because you are the lamps of hope who will fulfill the hopes in the Father's heart. Who are you? Another part of your self-realization. We are the lamps of hope for the rest of the world, filled with hope that allows us to fulfill Baba's hopes for the world and for us. So transformation has to happen, but he can't do it without us. But of course, we can't do it without him, right? There cannot be the word sometimes, even
in your dreams.
No.
Thoughts.
In your thoughts. Why? You know this from context. Not that it couldn't be in your dreams. He could have said that, but because he's talking about concrete decisions, judgment. Because you are constantly with the Father and you are the Father's constant companions. Therefore, how can there be sometimes in your vocabulary? Oh, because you're sometimes only in remembrance and with Baba. So it's not that you remember Baba 24/7. Baba's not foolish or naive. It's that you get to a state of purity and surrender and closeness that Baba is kind of with you all the time. And it's like what's that song? One call away. So just with a thought, you're there and he's with you. Not 10 minutes, 1 second a thought. So when you have that stage, then you'll feel as if Baba's always with you because your feelings are clean. What separates you from Baba? Impure thoughts, feelings, right? You are the ones who stay with the Father, and as his companions, you carry out the task of world transformation. So speak. You have received this blessing of, in Hindi word, sada, which means constantly. You have received this blessing of sada from Bapdada, have you not? In fact, as soon as each child takes birth, right? All of you are Baba's children, you recognize Baba, then you're born. Constant, then Bapdada always gives this blessing to every child as soon as they're born. May you constantly be yogi and pure. He doesn't just say be yogi and pure, he says constant. Whatever attainments you receive through that blessing are for all time. Baba's blessings are for all time. So you can't just say, I'm taking them some of the time. Not Baba's blessings aren't for some time. So all of you children have a right for all time. Because even if it is the last numbered child of Silver Age, the Father has love in his heart for all the children, not some of the children. Even great eminent people who consider themselves to be wise are not able to recognize the Father. The great religious people, scientists, wealthy billionaires, multi-billionaires, politicians do not recognize the Father. Whereas the last child of Bapdada has recognized Baba. Yeah, that's what you have to figure out with time. You're new. You want to get to a state where you know this is God speaking, and then your level of effort will increase. But of course, who could speak like this? He's asking, who could speak like this? He's saying, I'm the Father, the inheritance, I give you the inheritance, da, 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 da. So it's either he's such a big liar and we're all like liars manipulating you, or it's the truth and it's as simple as that. God comes, he says, I'm here, he tells you who he is, and he tells you the effort you have to make. That's the decision you have to make. But first you got to get into the Murli, right? So you're born when you say Baba from your heart. All that you say from your heart, oh, my Baba. And this is why the Father has eternal love for every child, which is why each child is to see the Father's blessing. So now you take that line and then you spin the cycle, Trikodarshi. Why do you know to say my Baba? Well, he introduced him, but you accepted that. Why? He said, I'm your Baba. Call me Baba. And you say, okay, Baba. But why do you agree to that? What's that based on?
The memories
You
of
have to have recognition. Well, where did that recognition come from?
memories.
Memories, feelings, experiences from your past that are being triggered from your present. So that's the same thing we tell you about everything. The identically repeating cycle, you have all the memories of that cycle in your subconscious. So therefore, when Baba comes, they all get triggered. They all emerge. So the feelings return. So therefore, you recognize that feeling, pure feeling, happiness, love, and you therefore are able to say, my Baba. That's where recognition comes from. It comes from your past, having recognized Baba previously. And that is why the truth always remains inside of you. So this is using the cycle to understand things, right? And this is why the Father has eternal love for every child, which is why each child has received the Father's blessing. Every day, Bapdada gives the same blessing to all you children at the same time. Even though you are all number-wise, we all get the same blessing. Although all of you children are number-wise, every day, as soon as a child says, my Baba, he claims the right to the blessings, God's blessings. Whether you children are living in India or abroad, each of you receives the same blessing from Bapdada and have received the blessings, and therefore you become happy. However, there are two types of children. What are the two types? One type is the children who definitely become happy, that they have received the blessings from Baba. But the one who claims the number one ahead are not those who just become happy, seeing the blessings, speaking about the blessings, hearing the blessings, that this is their blessing. So like, you get those little blessing cards, it makes you happy, right? But if you actually feel that Baba actually said that to you, it was just for you, you're going to feel a different kind of happiness. And if you actually get inspired to say, that's the answer to my question, thank you, Baba, I'm going to work on it, and you become that, is it going to be the same happiness as I was just hearing the blessing? Right? So, number-wise. But those who are just seeing the blessing, speaking about it, that this is their blessing, so they accept it's their blessing. But those who make their blessing fruitful, then, of course, that's a different level of happiness. They take the benefit of the blessing and they attain the fruit from that blessing. You have the seed, the blessing, but if you do not make the seed bear fruit, that is, if you do not make it fruitful, then there's just ordinary happiness. In order to obtain fruit from the blessing, just as with any other seed, a physical seed, a seed needs what?
Water.
Water and sunshine. For only then would it bear fruit. So here too, when each of you children wants to extract fruit from your blessings that you get from Baba, so here too, so that expansion can then take place, expansion of service, expansion of Baba's glorification, expansion of your stage, so that there's then growth in your own mind, that you grow, get stronger, more powerful, more elevated, more pure. So there's growth in your own mind through the fruit of the blessing. Then there too, the Father says, in order to extract fruit from the blessing, repeatedly take that blessing into your awareness. Repeatedly remember it, feel it, think deeply about it, apply it. You could say the Murli is a blessing, is filled with blessings. But if you don't apply it, think deeply, experience it, then you just have ordinary I know. But I know isn't self-realization. Remain stable in the stage of an embodiment of awareness. Smriti Swarup, embodiment of awareness. This does not mean to keep remembering it again and again, like by rote, I'm a soul, I'm a soul, I'm a soul. That's not what he's talking about. It's the embodiment of awareness. That's called, in Punjabi culture, Sikh culture, repeated over and over like a mantra, that's called
Simran.
Simran. If you're Punjabi, then you would do Simran. To have that awareness, Smriti, means to give it water, to water it with awareness, and to remain stable in the form of that awareness is to give it sunshine, and therefore it will grow. So remembering is the first part, then experiencing, embodying it is the sun part, and then your stage, your virtues, your purity will grow. So by it becoming fruitful, you will feel yourself by turning the blessing into fruit, applying it, remembering it and applying it. You fill yourself with a lot of power. And you can also give others an experience of power through your fruit that you've applied the blessing from. So what does Bapdada now want? For some time, Bapdada has been warning all of you children about the time. The time for the result of each child's study is going to come suddenly. For this, remain constantly ever ready. We should do a bhatti on that again. Remember how we used to, I took my blessings because I have the most and they're really good ones, but so have all of yours. And we read the blessings out very slowly and then moments of silence and read another blessing she could experience. I enjoyed that bhatti. You go back to the intoxication and remembering the feeling of when you received that blessing from Baba. For this, remain constantly ever ready. Along with that, Bapdada is also giving a signal that is now the time, that it is now the time to make intense effort to achieve the flying stage. No more walking, no more crawling, no more stumbling, flying over every obstacle and problem. Not that you are moving along, but that you are flying. It's your memorial, Superman, Supergirl, Superwoman. The time for making common effort, spending your day in ordinary consciousness in an ordinary way, has now passed. So you got to take a high jump. And this is why Bapdada is giving you this signal. Check every second and every thought. For instance, if you are not making intense effort, if you are making only ordinary effort for an hour, if the time for your final paper comes suddenly during that hour, then that final moment will lead you to your destination. And so your ordinary effort of 1 hour will then cause so much damage, loss. Because you were in ordinary consciousness, not your most powerful consciousness, your yoga will fluctuate at a very crucial time. This is why from time to time, Bapdada gives each of you children a signal about the importance of every thought, every second, and every moment. Only an intense effort maker is able to make effort to remain unshakable at the time of upheaval. So I know a lot of you don't like intense. I know of no other way to be the conqueror of Maya. Right? You've put so much energy into your weaknesses. How will you overcome them, destroy them, if it isn't with huge amount of intensity? And of course, that doesn't mean you can't be sweet and virtuous and kind and caring. Of course, you can do that intensely also. But you will not overcome your sanskars without intensity. An ordinary effort maker will take time to become ever ready. Whereas Bapdada has said that you have to put a dot, a full stop in just 1 second. Any waste thought, any negative thought, any fear, full stop. Otherwise, how much time are you going to lose battling with it, thinking about it, feeling guilty about it? What happens if you're not making intense effort? But of course, if you put a full stop to something, it doesn't come back, right? So if it comes back, clearly, you didn't put a full stop. What happens if you're not making intense effort? You are experienced in this. You're experienced in not making intense effort. Instead of a full stop,
Put a comma. Question.
you would put a question mark. Or he said, instead of a full stop, it would not become a question mark, would it? He royally says you would have questions in your mind, but he's just saying, would it be a question mark? Of course, he already knows it's a question mark. A full stop is so easy, a period, a dot, so easy to write a dot. Whereas a question mark is crooked and takes longer to write. As soon as you say full stop, a full stop should be applied. If you cannot do that with your own mind, you are not the master of your mind, and you cannot control your thoughts. Because you haven't dealt with your impure feelings. That's where your thoughts are driven by, your impure feelings. Baba says, a full stop should be applied, not a comma, not even an exclamation mark. You don't even have time to be surprised, full stop. That's what I mean by focus, concentration. That's intense. That's very concentrated. That's powerful. Not a comma, even explanation. You don't even have time to think, Colin. What should I do? That takes so much time. You need to know exactly what to do immediately. All these reasons. Difficult, I can't. I understand, but, right? Not good enough. Right? That's a stage of perfection. So you got to be dialed in, fully engaged if you're going to make your aim perfection. No child yet is able to understand that to make such fast effort means to pass the final paper. You can do that now with your mind. You will pass the final paper at the end. And he says the final exam is, can you be in soul conscious remembrance in 1 second through the destruction of the world? Bapdada sees that even now, due to one reason or another, the questions why, what, how come in your mind, like this, like that, are visible in some children's daily charts. Bapdada has seen, so you're supposed to keep a chart, tell Baba how your day went, where you made mistakes, where you sinned, where you were soul conscious, where you were body conscious. Bapdada has seen, it's like a journal, right? Bapdada has seen that in the charts of many, a wave of waste thoughts takes up a lot of time. And then you have to spend so much time telling Baba about it. And the speed of waste is so fast. 1 hour of ordinary thoughts is equal to 1 minute of fast thoughts. So that's why I tell you, some of you, I tell you, it's not that you don't understand. It's taking you way too long to understand. Your mind should be getting quicker the purer you become. And for your mind to become quicker, what do you have to do?
Share knowledge.
You need to spin the cycle deeper and faster. And you need to have deeper, more powerful, intense experiences in remembrance. This removes the impurity that is causing you to make mistakes, to hesitate, and to become confused. So your mind becomes like quicksilver, like mercury, that's why Mercury is remembered in astrology as the symbol for the mind. For some people, their mind is more like lead. A wave of waste thought takes up time. The speed of waste is so fast that 1 hour of ordinary thoughts is equal to 1 minute of fast thoughts. Therefore, today, Bapdada was looking at the contented souls who are loved by everyone and by Bapdada. The language of why, what will not enter the thoughts or even the dreams of a contented soul. No questions, no confusion. Why or what? Because that soul will be able to use the three special things at the right time. What are the three special things? The three
3 points of awareness.
3 points of awareness, full stop is the topic. The 3 dots. First dot is
Soul.
I am soul, the soul. Second dot is
Supreme soul.
Supreme Soul, God. And the third dot is Drama. Now you don't see the third one as a dot, you see it as a big circle. That's the expansion of a dot, right? A circle of radius 0, completely compressed, is just a dot. So to return home pure, you have to let go of everything, forget everything, renounce everything. Then all of the history of your drama becomes like a
Dot.
So therefore, how do you do that? By applying full stop to everything that happens between now and the end of the drama. Dot, dot, period, full stop, next, full stop, next. Wasting time. Why is this happening? What's my to do? I'm so confused. I don't know what to do. Baba, where are you? I'm scared. I'm scared is not a dot, right? I'm scared is a big circle. This is because at such a time, your treasure store of powers is essential. And the Master Almighty Authority is one who is able to order a particular power at any time, at any moment. So the sign of you being a master is you can summon any virtue or power in a second in any situation. So that the power becomes present at that time. You might want the power of tolerance, so you summon tolerance. But instead of tolerance coming, if the power to face comes instead, then although it is also a power, the power to face, that power to face is of no use at that time because the situation requires tolerance. So the key to all the treasures is the 3 dots: yourself, the Father, and the Dharma. But that it has one thought. Should he tell you? You will have to do it. Those who are ready to do it. So Baba hasn't told you. Are you ready to do it? But you don't know what he's going to ask. Are you sure you're ready to do it? If you have the power of a full stop, you can say yes. Because whatever obstacle comes, no problem. I can handle it. So Baba has one thought. Should he tell you that thought? If he tells you,
You have to do it.
that's why I told you, in the course, I said, if you have the truth, then you have to do it. If you don't, that's sin, and therefore you get burdened for that. So therefore, that is why you suppress, so that you don't have to be aware of what you know. Because the truth is already inside all of you, because the cycle repeats identically. You've always known this. You've always recognized Baba. You will always make this effort, whatever the effort is. We don't know yet. So if Baba tells you the truth and you're responsible, you have to do it. Those who are ready to do it, raise your hands. See, he's asking, look at what he's testing here. All of your commitment phobia issues, right? Sure, Baba, I'll do it as soon as you tell me what it is you're going to ask me to do. No, you fail. Now, of course, who's going to be able to say yes before they hear what it is? Those who have full faith. You know Baba won't harm you, and anything he asks you to do is going to be good for you. So therefore, you just say yes in advance. That's a positive attitude. Giving reasons, excuses, explaining difficulties is not a good attitude. Since you're raising your hands, you will have to do it. Are you raising the hand of your mind, or are you raising the hand of your physical body? So many are putting up their hands, but when they have to do it, their hands will come down. The hand of your mind is strong. According to the time, Dada has this pure desire for each child, you're going to meet Baba again in 15 days. There'll be another meeting with Baba, another live Murli with Baba. So you're going to meet Baba again in 15 days' time. And so for the next 15 days, use this special practice as a trial. As a trial means as a effort, as an aim, as a homework. In fact, you have to remain like this for all time, but at least have a trial for 15 days. Okay, you can't do it all the time. Can you do it at least for 15 days? And also get the centers in connection with you to do this. Go there or phone them and remind them. What is your homework? It's easy. Each one of you crosses through different circumstances and situations. But in the next 15 days, each one of you has to claim 80% marks, at least 80% marks in your thoughts, words, and actions. That your thoughts, words, and actions are
Pure, elevated.
Powerful, pure, elevated, but specifically filled with contentment, purity, good wishes, and that you can put a full stop to anything that tries to pull your mind. Nevertheless, Bapdad is giving you a margin of 20%. He's giving you a chance that you can make mistakes 20% of the time. You up for the challenge?
Yes.
Do you agree?
Yeah.
Do you agree? Are you sure you agree? Should Baba give you this homework?
Mhm.
How many are enthusiastically going to do this for the next 15 days? You sure? Is that the hand of the mind or the hand of the body?
Both.
Should Baba give you this work? Okay, 15 days.
Today's what?
And then he tries to shake you already. Baba tries to shake you, says, Maya is also listening. Your self-sabotage is also listening. Situations will come, but do not look at the situations. You just have to pass. Stable, powerful, pure, loving, sweet, happy through whatever happens this week. Just remember this. 15 days is not a big thing. No big deal, right?
No problem.
What have you ever done constantly for 15 days? Okay, 20% discount. What if you been able to do 80% for 15 days? You can say, oh, I get up from it. Okay, let's just say you do. Is it powerful and stable each and every day? 80% of 15 days would be 12 days. But each of you children has to show Bap Dada with an honest and clean heart that you will pass in your dreams, your thoughts, your words, and actions. Is this possible? Is it possible? He turns to the teachers first. He says, teachers, speak. Is this possible? The teachers won't do it. How will all the students do it? 15 days is nothing. But Bap Dada is asking you to do this as a trial. No thoughts are to be wasted. 20% margin of waste thoughts. Sure you can do this? Who wants to do this for 15 days? You sure? Okay, let's see. Okay. So if I correct you or tell you you're not doing well, are you going to have waste thoughts? Sure. Okay, let's see. Is this difficult or easy? No thoughts are to be wasted, no battling, but victorious, fully victorious for 15 days. That's your aim. If it is easy, if this is easy to do this, raise your hands. Is it easy? Oh, nobody's raising their hands. What's happening?
It's not easy, but it's challenging. Can't be done. Not impossible.
Well, are you victorious or aren't you? So it should be easy then, because that's the sign of being victorious, no? No, it's not looking good already. Then Bap Dada will see the result in 15 days. After seeing that result, what will Baba do?
Give you a gift.
No. You see, you all want your fruit. Baba says, Baba will increase it more. Next, he'll give you 20 days. Any of you can do it for 15 days, can you not? You're able to do this, are you not? Those from Madhuban, the headquarters, raise your hands if you can do this for 15 days. Those of you sitting in the front are from Madhuban, are you not? That's all the seniors. You are very good. Double foreigners and those from India, everyone has to do this. We're called double foreigners, right? Everybody's a foreigner because the soul world is our home. And then double foreigners means India was our original home on earth. And then we went to other lands. And so we're double foreigners. Those from villages and those from big cities, you all have to keep your record for this for 15 days. Do not make excuses saying, why? What? The situation was like that. You have to claim 80%. Even so, Bapdad is making it light. He's giving you a margin of 20%. So no complaining, no whining, no excuses. Cut your waist down to 20%. I would aim for 100 because 20, if you set your aim at 20, you'll achieve below 20%. It'll be more than 20%. Because Bap Dada sees that in some cases, whilst you're moving along, Maya makes you become
Careless.
and lazy. Maya makes you become careless and lazy. It was like this. It was like that is a form of royal laziness. Excuses is a form of royal laziness. This royal laziness and carelessness makes your intense effort become
Ordinary.
Slack.
weak. Because Bapdad is now making each of you students do a rehearsal for 15 days and wants you to practice this for some time. This is why he made you all raise your hands. It wasn't an option. Ever ready. Each of you should be able to raise your hand. You need to practice this over some time. This is why Baba's making you practice this for a short while. Acha? Because you're going to have to practice it for a much longer time, consistently, through some of the worst scenes that you're going to ever experience in the cycle. Acha. How many of you come to Madhuban for the first time to meet Baba? Stand up. Baba says, it is good. Congratulations to you for the day that you have come in front from Bapdada. Congratulations. The Father's vision fell on you children, and the vision of you children fell on the Father. Many, many congratulations. Acha, there isn't any other cake, but you can eat a cake of happiness. It is good. You have come late, but you can go fast and claim a number ahead. This is why congratulations are being given to you by Bapdada and by all your companion brothers and sisters. Congratulations. You will become such examples that even those who have come last can go fast. This is a good exercise for new ones. And therefore you can come in the first line, even though you've come late. Acha. To all of you lamps of hope everywhere who fulfill Bapdada's hopes, to those who remain beyond the language of why and what, confusion, question marks, who remain constantly stable, to those who constantly belong to one Baba and none other, to those who experience the three special relationships in life,
Father, teacher, Sadguru.
Father, teacher, and the true Guru, Satguru, in one Father, three in one, to all of you multi-million times fortunate children who claim your inheritance from the Father, capital F, your inheritance of this study from the teacher, capital T, and your inheritance of blessings from the Satguru, capital S, Bapdada's love, remembrance, and namaste to every child. Speaking to the daddies. What year was this? 2010, 9? So all the daddies were still alive.
Daddy G left in 2007.
Oh, 2007. And Chandramani Daddy had left before Daddy G. So she passed, I think she went at 2004, 4 or 5.
Her daddy.
Well, her daddy was later, actually. She left after Daddy G somewhere, I think in double digits, 2000s, 2011 or 12, maybe. All of you have helped everyone very well. No one had to think about how to do it. You just thought, we have to do it. With one another's help, all the programs became very good. The sound was spread. Everyone received the message. Now move forward. Everyone had very good experiences in yoga. The topic itself was to give blessings. And so with yoga programs, they all experienced that. To the service of the Punjab zone. So he gives messages to different groups. So according to the drama, Punjab received a good chance to serve the sannyasis and great souls, Mahatmas. And you are doing that too. At the time of establishing service in Punjab, you found good cooperative and air quality souls who then became the instruments for service. To the extent that there were those who caused upheaval, to that extent, there were also the lion quality souls. Punjab is about Sher, Singh, they're all names for lion. What does Punjab have to do now? You have this specialty. Now, those from Punjab have to prepare a well-known lion who can be a mic in a gathering through relating his experience. He should be someone who can be a big mic, not a small mic. The VIPs of the government are a different matter, but even amongst the great souls, Mahatmas, there are VIPs. So prepare a big mic who can make others enthusiastic through his own experience. Prepare someone like that. Get him or her ready. It is possible because although people believe that service by the sages and holy men began in the Copper Age, there aren't any such examples of great gurus who can make others or their disciples the same as themselves. However, Bapdada has prepared some children who are cleverer even than Baba, who go in front of the public. Therefore, Punjab now has to show some newness. Can anyone be cleverer than Baba? But he just said they're cleverer than Baba.
Just being humble.
Yeah, he's being humble. But yeah, there are some who have a greater gift for articulating. There's some who have a very smooth voice. Right? So there are some who could be better at certain things. But clever, I don't know.
Full package.
Therefore, Punjab now has to show some newness. VIPs come from all directions, but you have to bring such ones here so that everyone who hears them will awaken and receive the message. Is this possible? We shall see. It does take a little time to develop contacts like that. And you can imagine there are hundreds of thousands of VKs in India. So the level of service is huge, right? It does take a little time, but you can prepare someone like that and show everyone. Yes, expansion is taking place. Acha, blessing. May you become free from care and worry and make anything difficult become easy peasy. By remaining aware of the Father's hand, his hand of Srimad, his hand of support, company, and his company. By remaining aware of the Father's hand and his company. So awareness is everything. You have to remember Baba. When your hand is in the hand of an elder, your stage becomes free from care and worry. In the same way, whilst doing everything, constantly consider Bapdada to be with you, and that your hand in this alaukic life, in this spiritual life, that your hand in this spiritual alaukic life is in his hands. It's like that song, put your hand in the hand, right? This means that your life is in his hands and that he is therefore
Responsible.
Baba is therefore responsible for your life. That is surrender. Put all your burdens onto the Father and become light. The way to remove a burden and make anything difficult becomes easy, make anything difficult become easy, is to take the Father's hand and his company. And so if you're lost in Baba's love, then surrender is easy. But why do you find surrender difficult? Because you can't stay constantly in his company. You can't constantly keep your hand in Baba's hand. Slogan: when you have honesty in your efforts, you'll experience extra help from Bapdada. The courage to be honest in effort making will attract Baba's help to you, whatever your problem is. So you need to develop faith in that. How do you develop faith in that? By facing the obstacles and coming up with solutions. When you have honesty in your efforts, you'll experience extra help from Bapdada. Avyakt Signa. Imbibe the virtue of sweetness and humility to become great. And we don't have the Avyakt Signa printed.
It's in the Hindi.
Okay, read it in Hindi.
Again, अगर आपसे कोई टक्कर लेता है, if somebody comes into conflict with you, और आप उससे अपने स्नेह को पानी दो, so give the water of love to that soul. आप अपने मधुरता और नम्रता से के
Sweetness and humility.
के गुण को नहीं छोड़ो. Do not leave.
The virtues of humility and sweetness.
Right. नम्रता को ड्रेस पहन कर रखो. Wear the dress
of humility. So humility and sweetness, wear the dress of humility and sweetness to deal with conflicting situation.
वह नम्रता ही कवच है. So that humility is your armor, shield. जो safety का साधन है. It is the means of your
of
safety.
your safety.
संस्कारों की रास
Do the dance of sanskars.
मिलाने का सबसे सहज तरीका है. The most easy method of harmonizing sanskars. स्वयं नम्रचित, so become humble, और मधुरता, so
Humble and sweet.
sweetness and humility. संपन्न बन जाओ, become full of those two virtues. दूसरे को श्रेष्ठ सीट दे दो, give others the
Elevated seat. Secondly, give everyone the elevated seat.
Yeah.
Ah, another day to practice sweetness and humility.